Are we there yet? There we are. We're back. We're back. We're back. I don't need a word from our sponsor. I kicked a cord and I lost all the feed. So where's the barrel? There's the barrels. Okay, so the barrels are right here. I need to move the camera just ever so slightly to right. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So this is the work floor today. Thank you, Longshanks, for sticking with us. Are you there? Longshanks isn't even here back yet. That's okay. Sending him a text. Oh, he's here. I just saw it pop up on my feed. Okay, cool. All right, so this is the work floor today. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be putting my chair right over there. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be transferring that barrel here, this one right here, to that barrel there, the one in front. Just transferring the whiskey out of that barrel so that I can begin the filtration process of. Can we do picture in picture on this? Yeah, so that I can begin the filtration process of the. This makes it look like I have a huge facility. Big thanks to my 2,360 subscribers. I think we're at 61 or 62 technically, but we have gone up by 20, I believe, since last Wednesday's show. I think last Wednesday we were at 2328 or something like that, 2329. So thank you to you fine folks. There it is right down here. And this is where we're going to be working. So this front barrel is going to go into that open barrel over there, where I will begin the filtration process for our straight whiskey. Straight whiskey. So there you go. Onward to that spot in the room. Let's go. Live channel display right there. All right. So the tool that I use for this particular job is a chair. This is my bottling wand. These are my filtration wands. A little bit of bourbon in there now. That's okay. Just a little dribble. It's not going to hurt anything, not going to help anything. But I use this. A simple garden pump. I could go the route of, and this pump is actually garbage. All right, where's my pump? Here, it's over here. We are members only for the first hour. Members only commenting for the first hour. I will open it up. Members and mods can comment for the first hour. If you're visiting and you want to comment, ask me questions about the whiskey, whatever, I'm down to answer any question you might have. Memberships cost as low as $2.99 a month. $2.99 or $1.99? I can't remember if it's $2.99 or $1.99. Memberships are pretty cheap. If at the lowest level of membership, the $1.99 a month or $2.99 a month, you can spilling a little whiskey on the floor over here. Get you members only chats, members only videos. We will be doing some members only stuff. Entertainment, concerts, things like that. I will be doing plenty of videos that are live videos that are members only, because membership does indeed have its privileges. And some of those privileges include, but are not limited to, live concerts from your friends at the Old Humble Distilling Company. Folks like JP Zay, Aerosmith, Ryan Adam Wells, comedy performances, burlesque performances, anything we can do here at the shop. We will do these shows, and they will all be live shows from the shop, will all be members only performances. Always and forever. So if you are a member, Beautiful. And just to be sure, got to do a quality test. This is cask strength straight whiskey. That's going to be a delightful, an absolutely delightful whiskey right there. Bring it a little closer so you can see. Look at that. Delightful. And this is our cask strength straight whiskey. We bottle this at 90 proof. It's 95% corn. Lord, Lord. Woo, woo. That's about 130 proof. Crikey. That is a little too hot for my taste. Little too hot for my flavor palette. And I've said before, and I will say again, I don't make whiskey I don't like to drink. So, if I'm going to make a cask strength whiskey, I'm going to make it. I have to get the grain bill down so that it tastes good at 135 proof. And for my personal palate, 95% corn does not taste good at 135 proof. So that will not be a cask strength whiskey. Talk about drinking moonshine. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the next thing I have to do, this next task has to be done over there. Has to be done all the way over there, and I have to get past this, which is a problem. But I think I could probably do it. I think I can make enough space for a pallet to get through here. Let's see here. For another pallet to get through here, rather. Except, I think the pallet is actually breaking. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait. My kids were supposed to come and help me with this. Oh, hello. What do we got here? Mr. Jiggs. Superfan, Mr. Jiggs. What's up, my man? Oh, you signed a membership. Mr. Jiggs, thank you very much for joining the party. You, sir, are our first member. And for that, I'm going to get you some merch. I'm going to see to it that you get some merch sent to you. I believe you already have a hat, but I will get you a shot glass and a sample bottle. So super fans, on the very baseline level, thank you for your support, Jigs. I really do appreciate it. On the baseline membership level, I started talking about this. You've got access to live shows, live music, live entertainment, live shows. Once we get the tasting room built out and finished, I will bring back live events at the distillery. Live music, live events. Singers, songwriters, performers, burlesque and non-burlesque, performers of all stripes, comic, blue, etc. Can I get through here? No, fuck me, I can't get through here. But I'm gonna bring back the performers of all types. All right, I'm gonna go around, and then I'll turn the camera so y'all can see what I'm working on. Will it fit through here? I don't know. So I'm going through the back hallway right now. of the bar. I've said before, I'll say again, I need one of these tracking cameras. My goal for the channel altogether right now is $100 a month. Not a huge number, but Google's minimum payout is $100. So if I want to get a monthly check, it has to be $100. It is just slightly wide. Can I cram it through? If I pull hard, yeah, but I'm not going to be able to get it through this mess. Yeah, I might. Okay. So that's the super fan level, the baseline level. What was that? $2.99 a month, Jigs? $3.99 a month? $2.90. I think it's $2.99 a month. It might be $1.99 a month. It's $25 a year. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I'm not asking for a kidney. On the next level, oh, and you're going to get producer credits. I'm going to add your name to our production screen. Special thanks to our associate producers, our patrons, if you will, who support the channel. There we go. So your name will be added to the production screen. Special thanks to you. And I have so much junk and crap projects that I'm in the middle of that I need to finish up. But a lot of this stuff gets finished simply with finishing the goddamn tasting room. The second level, the I think I called it the Roughnecks. No, the Wildcats. The Wildcat level. The second level, which I believe is $5 a month. That gets people on a semi-annual. Is it semi-annual? I think it's no. That would be every 2 years. Biannual? I can't remember if biannual or semi-annual. I believe it's semi-annual. Is every 6 months. So every 6 months, I'll send out samples of stuff that we're working on. Whether it's a new whiskey, a rye, a brandy, vodka, gin. You know, we'll do samples of stuff that I'm working on. The highly experimental stuff. The stuff that you only get here in the tasting room because it's like, hey, I've got this secret stash of stuff over here. You want to try it? Come see what I've got in my van, little kids. And we'll do a taste along. We'll do private tastings, virtual, online, private tastings, and you get to participate in those as a wildcat or roughneck. And then the final level, the roughneck level. Well, that level, you get all the stuff from before, producer credits, special thanks to my patrons, etc., etc. But also, you get to name the tasting room for a month. So, usually I broadcast out of the pandemic studio at home, the Old Humble pandemic studio. Cheers, sunflowers. Why aren't you on my screen here? Is chat not connecting? Do I not see sunflowers? Why do I not see sunflowers? There's sunflowers. Okay. Welcome, sunflowers. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you get the live sip-alongs. You get the live sip-alongs with Old Humble, and you get to name the studio. So normally I broadcast from the Old Humble Distilling Company pandemic studio, the pandemic studio at my house. That was the studio that I set up God damn, that thing's loud. That was the studio that I set up at my house um, during the pandemic, during March 2020. Uh, this is what we're seasoning. During March 2020, it's the studio that I set up at my house. Hence the pandemic studio, the Old Humble Pandemic Studios. Uh, but with the tasting room being set up, I'm going to be doing a lot of shows. Literally, I'm going to be doing a lot of shows from right over there, from right there, where I will set up a table and members will be invited to join me on stage uh, in real time or virtually. If you're physically present, you can be physically present. If you're virtually present, we'll load you up on the StreamYard or Restream or whatever. Get back to the barrels over here. There we go. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can reach this all the way across. No, I can't. The cord won't go quite that far. I was going to put it over here so you could see what's going right into the barrel right there. Okay. Delicious. I'll move you back over here. You can see the whole operation right there. Did I just see STD? Thank you, Square Table. Appreciate that. Um, that is that's a super chat. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Let me go back to the other screen. Can I go back to my other screen? I want to highlight that bitch. Highlight it. Give it a love. There we go. Give it a love. Boom. There you go. All right. So where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, you get to name the studio. So, sorry, I keep getting. I'm working, so I'm getting distracted by the stuff that I have to do. So you get to name the studio for a show for a month. You get to name the studio for a whole month. So if you wanted to name the studio the Square Table Degenerates uh, Broadcast Studio, Old Humble Distilling Company, broadcasting from the uh, Square Table Degenerates Studio for the next, for the next happy hour. Boom, you're in. Uh, you could call it the Pee Pee Poo Poo Studio if you wanted to. You call it the Sunflowers is Awesome Studio. You call it the Old Humble Guy has a small pee-pee studio. If that's what you want to call it, I will be obligated to call it. Community standards do apply. I'm not going to call it the Donald Trump is the greatest president ever to exist studio because that would be a straight up lie and in violation of my basic principles to not intentionally lie on my camera, on my stream. We're not going to relitigate the Civil War. So it's not going to be the Civil War was about states' rights studio. We're not going to do that shit. Thank you for your membership, but no, we're not naming it that. Thank you. All right. So this is job number 2. We got another one. Okay. So task number 2. I'm going to go over here. This is the barrels. So what I need to do to season these barrels, let's set it up right here. What I need to do to season these barrels, I'm going to zoom in tight. Zoom in tight. All right. So these are my 5-gallon barrels that I age my bourbon in. This is the barrel right here. 5 gallons. It's not huge, but it's not the size that matters. Well, actually, when it comes to barrels, it is the size that matters. It's exactly what matters. So the difference between a 5-gallon barrel and a 50-gallon barrel is surface area to volume. Surface area is 2 dimensions, x squared, if you will, or x times y. Uh, volume is XYZ. There's a third component to that. And if you double the surface area of something, so it's 4 by 4, if you double it, it's now 8 by 8, which is 4 times 4 squared, right? 4 times 4 is 16, 8 by 8 is 64. You've squared the size. It's not just 4 times 4 times 2, it's 4 times 4 times 4. Now, if you double the volume of something, it's not 2 by 2 by 2, it's 4 by 4 by 4. You've cubed the volume. You increase the volume by a factor of 3. You increase the area by a factor of 2. Let me get my phone here so I can watch chat as it comes by. We're only going to be members only for like an hour. I'm going to turn this off and open it up to everybody after about an hour. So that's what we mean when we say surface area to volume ratio. We mean that as you make something bigger, the volume goes up faster than the surface area of the object. So if you have a giant container on a ship, or for that matter, a giant ship, the bigger the ship, the more it can hold. And if you double the size of the ship, you square the surface area of the ship, but you cube the volume of the ship, which means you can hold exponentially more stuff every time you make a ship bigger. And that's the same way with barrels. You make the barrel bigger, like a 50-gallon barrel, that's not 10 times the size as a 5-gallon barrel. That's, what would it be? Roughly 3 times the size, 3 cubed, or 3 squared. The outer side, 3 squared. It's roughly 3 times the size. A little bit more because it's 10 times. It holds 10 times the volume. But anyway. I don't know the exact dimensions. Y'all can figure that shit out yourself. All I know is that I can hold 5 gallons in this one, 50 gallons in that one, and that takes 5 to 7 years to age. This takes 6 to 9 months to age, and you get the same amount. And that's because the volume of it in this one touches the surface and interacts with the surface more efficiently than it does in that one. Now, admittedly, we lose a little bit of something in the time because when you have the time in the barrel, time does things. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling? Because I hear this in my ear, so I feel like I'm yelling. Time does things to whiskey in the same way that graduating high school in a year versus graduating high school in 5 years does something to a kid. There's the experience of 4 different homecomings. There's the experience of prom that you miss out on because you were only 13 when you graduated, or whatever it is, however old kids, 14 when you graduate, 15. So you miss out on the full prom experience. You miss out on the homecomings. There's time in barrels that you get that you miss out on when you age something in 5 months, 9 months, 12 months. Every hot summer that we get. But the way we get around that is I don't use 1 barrel. I use a dozen barrels. And each one of these barrels interacts with the whiskey in a slightly different way. Each one of these barrels gives me a slightly different summer. Each one of these barrels has a slightly different experience. So instead of getting 5 summers of activity, I have 5 barrels interacting with 1 summer 5 different ways. So it's not a perfect solution to the problem of complexity, but it is a different solution to the problem of complexity. And we are moving towards, I'm about a year away from being able to put away whiskey for 2 years. And putting whiskey in one of these barrels for more than a year is not a good move. It's not a good option because these barrels will overage it, and it's not a good solution. It creates its own problem of just too much oak in the whiskey, too much barrel. I've tried it. It doesn't make a better whiskey. It doesn't make a demonstrably better whiskey. About 12 months is about the maximum aging time for it to get a decent flavor. After that, it tastes like it's just too damn much wood. That's what she said. Oh! So how do you season a barrel, Old Humble guy? That's a great question. Glad you asked. So what I'm doing to season these barrels, seasoning the barrel just simply means I'm making it watertight. I'm swelling it. I soak it and swell it so that my whiskey doesn't leak out of it. And if I do it right, I won't lose a lot to the wood itself. If I do it right, then the whiskey will soak into the wood and come back out, but it won't get lost in the wood because the wood will be fully hydrated during the aging journey. And I'm not gonna season these on their end like this. I'm gonna put them on their side. The head of the whiskey of the barrel is the weakest part. Any more chit chat? Sunflowers, Joey from Square Table, Mr. Jiggs. Hey, I appreciate the support, guys. I really do. I really, truly do. But that's basically what we do. I let it sit wet for like a week to 2 weeks. And then after a couple of weeks, I drain the water back out. I drain the water back out of it. Put my company logo on the side, and then fill it with whiskey. Note the date, note the time. Give it a serial number, and we're off to the races. Then I have other work to do. Everything's dark because of the backdrop. Shit. Move these pallets, and I'll drop that wall so it won't be so bright, and y'all will be able to see what it is that I'm doing. Pull you back this way a little bit. Rotational. Rotation. A pivot. Pivot. And like I said, I'm going to turn off member-only chat in a few minutes. So if you are visiting and want to ask questions of the distiller, I can answer questions. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Is that better? A little bit better light that way? Yeah, this would be better light. Will it be better light? No, still dark. There we go. White balance. Problem solved? Yep. All right, so there we go. And, you know, in a week or so when I'm done with this and I'm filling it with whiskey, I'll show you when I put my logo stamp on the side. You know, marking the barrels and all that. Now, these still have to be plugged. I have to plug the bunghole and put the spout on the side. But that's nothing. That doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort. My box cutter I left at home because I am a dope. I am a bot. My son has started streaming on Twitch, looking into the world of getting monetized on in the internet world. If you want to go harass a teenager on Twitch, he likes the abuse. I watched him for a stream and I just picked on him the whole time. I was the only one on it. I could hear myself yelling at him in the other room. He started off the microphone too quiet. Like I couldn't hear what he was saying on the game. He was talking, but he was kind of mumbling. Couldn't really hear him. And I put in comments like, you need to speak clearly or turn up your microphone, one or the other. And then he mumbled something. And then I yelled out, I was in the living room. And I yelled out, they can't hear you. And I waited a couple seconds and I heard me on a microphone streaming from the Pandemic Studios, the Old Humble Pandemic Studio. I heard me yelling in the background. And then I put in chat, and like, it's not your microphone, it's you. You need to speak up. You're not bothering anybody. You're in my office. Speak up so people can hear you. And then he started talking louder, and it got better. But it's tough when you're playing a game and you're streaming, because you kind of got to narrate what you're doing while you're doing it. Okay, I'm going to go over here now, looking for this guy. I'm going to shoot him up here. All right, switching over to my AR. It's a challenge to do that because you kind of got to do two things. And I've found when I play, I benefit from it because I stop thinking about what I'm doing, and I don't. I'm not thinking about the game. I'm going on more autopilot than not, and I get out of my head, and then I can just play, and I'm more relaxed. I'm more natural when I'm playing, and I still suck, but I suck less, which is good when you're a bot and you play like an old man and a dad. Okay, so the wrappings are off the barrels. Am I making a cask strength whiskey soon? So I don't have any specific plans. However, what will be included in properly frame myself on the camera over here. What will be included in the gift box, the victor from the Wheel of Doom and Glory will get a 5th sample that I haven't even talked about yet. A 5th secret sample, which will in fact be a cask strength bourbon, as yet unnamed, as yet unproduced. I don't know what the technical term. I haven't made it yet. I haven't done a label for it yet. Haven't done anything with it yet. It's just going to be a highly experimental version of our bourbon that will be cask strength. So these are the implements that come with it. A little filling funnel that I don't need. a spout, which comes in handy when it comes to emptying these out, because I can just lift it up, put it on my loading rails, turn it upside down, open this up, open that up, and it comes out of the bung. And I need to seal up this side. Excuse me. I seal them from the top, not from the side. And these go in the top. So I fill it and seal it here. And then I will usually put it in upside down. Because when I unload it like this. And if this is upside down, then I can just turn it that way. But I don't really pay that close of attention. And, out of habit, you do it the right way. So there you go. But no, I do not have specific plans for an official production of cask strength whiskey. However, as my first official member to the channel, for you, Jigs, you will get you will get one of those samples that I'll be sending out to the Doom and Glory winner. Unless you win the Wheel of Doom and Glory, then you'll get a sample with the Wheel of Doom and Glory stuff. And I've got a handful of names to add to the Wheel of Doom and Glory tonight, so far. For everybody who's in chat right now. And Jigs, you get your name on it again because you are a member. You get an extra one. And I'm going to look and see what your membership, I think you're whatever it is, you're going to get on for however many monies a month you are in. If it's an extra three members, an extra 3 entries, whatever, it's an extra 3 entries. Because I appreciate the support. Thank you. Automatic entry in keeping with your member level. You don't have to be in there just yet. And everything is just hand tightened. Nothing has to be hammered into place or anything like that. The water will swell it. The water will swell it up to the point where it needs to be. And then when it comes time to fill the barrels with whiskey, I will go through the bung opening and fill it with whiskey in that direction. Not from the front, not from the barrel head. Because like I said, the barrel head is the weakest part of the whole damn thing. So I don't want to mess with the barrel head if I don't have to. Tomorrow night we're talking about the boomers. And I'm not going to relitigate how they are the worst generation. We know how they're the worst generation. We know what they've done to ruin literally everything they put their hands on. What I wanted to do tomorrow night is do a kind of a case study of 2 movies. Gen X, we had our movie. Our workplace movie was, our how to succeed and get ahead at work was Office Space. Where Gen X Peter literally goes, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore, man. I'm tired of the rat race. I'm tired of the upward mobility. I'm tired of the working to buy expensive stuff so that I can afford to buy expensive stuff so I can impress people who I don't know, to get a better job, to do more work, to buy expensive stuff, to impress people I don't know. He completely and totally rejected that whole bullshit and literally burns his office down. Well, he doesn't burn it down. The other guy burns it down. but just literally says fuck it and gets a lower paying job, aims lower, is happier than he'd ever been. And I'm going to contrast that with one of the many Gen X get ahead movies, The Secret to My Success, where homeboy literally takes over his uncle's company. I mean, he was also fucking his aunt, but you know, the boomer myth of starting in the mailroom and working your way up was literally destroyed by that entire generation of people. They're like, you don't have to start in the mailroom. You can get your college degree and get a head start and go straight to the bone crushing toil of working in a desk and wearing flair. Except they don't call it flair, they call it ties. You're not wearing a tie today. You're right, Bob, I'm not. All right. I'm going to go check on my whiskey barrel filling. It may be blowing air right now, to be quite honest. We are. Whew, that's loud. All right, we started blowing air. We're done. Jig says, what happens? I know I. All right. So back over to here. Damn, that was loud. It's giving me a headache. Back over to here. So I got out of that barrel about, where is it? Over here. Zoom out, please. Thanks, cameraman. I am the cameraman. So I got out of this barrel probably about 34 gallons, 40, between 40 and 35 gallons. I usually measure when I'm bringing it out. I use my 5-gallon barrels to measure it and bring it out, but I've done this enough that I pretty much know what I'm getting out of these barrels. 25 to 35 or 35 to 40 gallons per barrel. And if I treat it like 45 gallons, I'm not going to be disappointed. Or treat it like 35 gallons rather, I'm not going to be disappointed. I will be able to take this barrel, load it up on some whatchamacallits. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Load it up on a platform. Load it up on a platform and dump whatever's left in here. There's not much. There's a little bit left in there, but not much. It is mostly empty. If I can get my magic wand flashlight, I don't know if it works, but it may or may not fit in that hole. Nope, does not work. Plug it up, charge it up. Charge it up for a few minutes. I got a power cable over here specifically for this task. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so task 1 is complete. Task 2 is will be getting those barrels filled, and then task 3 is cleaning out this side of the shop over here to get the tasting room started. A little water for me. and then turn it back over here. All right, we're good. Could watch you work all day. Thanks, Jigs. You have a great day too, sir, and thank you again for your support. Send me an email. I think I have your your physical address, but send me an email confirming it. info@oldhumblедistilling.com, and I will get your thank you gift for the first member to my channel in the mail as soon as I can. Because you folks, like, I'm serious. When I say I appreciate the support, I'm not kidding. I mean, every chat. Have we been on here for an hour? Do I need to open? Is it time to open up to yeah, it's noon. It's noon. It's been an hour. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the members only chat. Because right now it's only members and mods who can chat. So I'm gonna turn it off so that it is everybody. Everybody, get stupid, get funky, get started, get going. Let's get it started. All right. Customization. Anyone can chat. Let's go, everybody. Anybody can chat. Save and proceed. All right. Put this over here on live. Live. Nope. Come on. There we go. Everything's live. Good. Members only mode is off. All right. The bung back in the bung hole. And now, off we go. Let's get it started. You are a proof hoe. All right. Back to it. So it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it only takes a couple of minutes to put 5 gallons in these things. The time it takes most is just getting everything prepped up and ready to go. Because I've got a dozen barrels to do the work on. And the thing to remember is a 50-gallon barrel does not cost 10 times as much as a 5-gallon barrel. 5-gallon barrel costs about half as much as a 50-gallon barrel. So the small batch stuff is much more expensive than the large batch stuff. However, the large batch stuff is done on a scale that I can barely afford to even think about. You know, they do thousands of gallons of whiskey an hour. I do thousands a year. You know, between all 4 of my brands this year, I've done about 2. This year, 2023, I have produced 1,500 gallons all year of raw whiskey, not bottled whiskey. Bottled whiskey a little bit more than that, obviously, because I take the proof and I knock it down from 120 down. So bottled whiskey probably about twice that. Same amount of alcohol. You know what I mean? Get you out of there, because I need y'all. Because just because I add water to it doesn't mean I reduce the alcohol content. The alcohol content stays the same. But yeah, it's about, I think it was about 1,500 total gallons this entire year. And almost all of it was sold to a distributor, to our distributor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Almost all of it was sold to our distributor because we don't have a tasting room proper. I didn't do hardly any tasting room business in the first 3 months of the year. I was only open like 2 days because I was out doing tastings most of the spring. And when we were open, nobody came. So they're like, "Why aren't you open?" Like, I was open, motherfucker. You didn't show up. Why didn't you show up? We'd be open if you showed up. But now that the fall is back, fall time is here. The weather has shifted. We have beautiful weather returning to the Gulf Coast. It has dropped below 150 degrees outside. The temperatures are consistently in the 90s. Which means we are having a moment of beautiful weather here. Joyfully gorgeous weather. It is joyfully gorgeous. I mean, when it is 96 degrees outside, I mean, I have this door shut right now, so it's a little hot because I have no breeze. But when I open that door up, we have a nice cool breeze coming through here. It is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I know in parts of the country, y'all are getting 72 degrees and it's getting cold almost. Well, by our standards, cold. But I mean, y'all don't seem to understand when it drops below 90 when it drops below 100 degrees, when it has been 100 to 110 every day since July 4th. Between 100 and 110 degrees every single day. We had a solid 2-month stretch. The fuck was that? We had a solid 2-month stretch where it was like over 100 degrees. Oppressively hot. And it didn't rain. It didn't even rain for that 2-month stretch. It was hot and dry and just disrespectful. I dropped my cork. It was absolutely disrespectful. I mean, a week or so above 100, that's fine. We can handle that. But when it's a month, I mean, Jesus, that is oppression. Weather oppression. I mean, it's not like, somebody making you work with a whip oppression. But, it's just, it's hard to do anything. It's hard to go outside. It's hard to, when it's still 95 degrees at 9 o'clock at night, there's no breeze. Ugh. But then it drops down to 90, 95 in the middle of the day. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's only 96 degrees. The hottest time of day, the high temperature is 95. Oh, God, it's like heaven. After putting up with that shit for 2 months, it's like heaven. Absolute heaven. Ugh. I love it. I love this time of year. I love this time of year. I love the fall leading up to December. I love the spring when we emerge from our freezing temperatures in late February, and we get the beautiful weather returning. I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of like the wintertime months when you have your legging weather and chunky sweaters. The sweater weather and leggings, that's a good time of year. But then when it emerges to the sweaters and shorts in springtime, oh man, that's nice. That's a good time of year too. Not gonna lie. I like my state. I like my region. It's worth the time and the heat. It's worth the oppression of the summer in order to enjoy the outdoors during the winter. Those cool weather months. I mean, granted, y'all enjoy the time in the summer. Y'all go out and it's like, you know, whatever, 85 degrees. You should enjoy it in the summer. It's only 85 degrees, 90 degrees. Y'all should enjoy that shit. But then y'all have to go inside in November and stay inside until like the end of February because it's 40 feet of snow outside. You're living in a tundra. You live under a glacier. We don't ever live under a glacier out here. We may get 2 or 3 days where we can't go outside in the winter every couple of years. I'm okay with that. All right, so this is 5 gallons of water going into the barrel. And if I actually press it in here, I can see bubbles coming out the top where it is not airtight. And that's the air pressure coming out the top. You can hear it. Let me put the microphone up to it. That's the air pressure pushing its way through the little seals and holes in the side of the barrel, and that's what I'm trying to seal up. I'm trying to force the water into these little nooks and crannies, and I'm going to let it sit there for a week to 2 weeks, and then I'm going to transfer about 55 gallons of alcohol, add about 5 gallons to it, knock it down to about 120 proof, and that 120 proof bourbon is going to go into these barrels. The 120 proof is going to go into the barrels, and it'll come out around between 115 and 125. Oh, all right, is it full? You would think, right? And when I put the whiskey in, I'm not putting the whiskey in under pressure either. I'm just filling it up to the brim. I'm using a funnel, and I'm filling it up. Actually, I think most of the time I'll use my filter, and I'll fill up 4 barrels at the same time. And what I really want to see when I fill these barrels is I want to make sure that nothing's leaking out. That we're not getting any dribbles and drabs coming out of the barrels. I want to see the barrels completely sealed up. So I'll leave them here on the concrete as they fill. That's good. This one's full. I think this one might have a leak in it already. But I will know for sure when I put it in its place. And I'll check them. I'll come back and check them every couple of days to make sure they don't have a leak. Like a structural deficiency leak. When they're all sealed up, turn that to its side. When they're all sealed up properly, they're pretty airtight. They're not perfectly airtight, but they're pretty airtight. You know, they breathe like any other wooden vessel would. But the holes and seals in the side of these are really small. And it's just like when you have a small hole in the side of a bowl or something like that, a sealed Tupperware bowl. You know, the small hole, the air has to go in for the liquid to come out. And these holes are so small that the liquid can't go out because there's no air coming in. The big holes are pretty much sealed up. The little holes are so tiny that it can't get two-way traffic. So they don't leak unless they're dry and they have cracks. If they're dry and they have cracks, they'll leak like a like a poorly built canoe. But the whole goal of this is to get the wood wet, swell it up, seal off those cracks, so that when the whiskey goes in, it doesn't just pour through any cracks or holes, and it stays even more airtight. A dry barrel is a bad barrel. And my old barrels that I have laying around as decoration, those have gotten so dry, the metal rims fall off of them because they shrink up. The wood shrinks, like literally shrinks. And you can reverse that, by filling them up, by fully submerging them. You can fully submerge the barrels and fill them up with whiskey again. But even with a fully submerged barrel, it's not necessarily going to cure back into place where it's supposed to be fully airtight. The only way to make sure that the barrel stays airtight is to not let it get dry in the first place. All right, are we there yet? All right, we're there. Seal you off. And again, I'm just hand tightening these in, making sure they're vertical, hand tighten it. It doesn't have to be pounded in with a mallet. Pounding it in with a mallet may actually damage the head of the barrel, and I don't want that to happen. I'm going to have to adjust my production screen to make sure I have Jigs included as an associate producer. Special thanks to our associate producers, Mr. Jigs. Your name here. All right. Chairs are very important pieces of equipment in the distilling arts. People don't give the chair enough credit. But it is definitely the all-star when it comes to the work that we do. Now, you can actually feel the air coming out of the barrel as it's being filled up. Because the water goes in, air comes out. You're displacing one fluid with another fluid. And when it comes to a barrel leaking, if you just have one hole, you're probably going to be okay because the air has to bloop, go into it. And if it's a sealed vessel, you're probably okay. Because it'll create as the water leaks out initially, it'll create a vacuum. But, these things are not completely 100% airtight. There are imperfections in the barrels themselves. My last batch of barrels over there, 6 of them, they do not have any leaks. They didn't leak at all. And what this will actually end up being, this is 60 gallons. No, 30 gallons. 5 times 12 is 60. This is 60 gallons. This will end up being about 40 cases, give or take. This will be about 40 cases of alcohol, give or take. And it'll be 40 cases of alcohol in about, well, I think I'll pull these out in about nine months because they've got to go over winter. So we're going to get all 3 months of fall, both months of winter, and then 3 months of spring. And I'm going to let them sit for as long as I can. I might pull them out in June or July. But, it's so damn hot. I don't get a lot of work done in June and July. But we are going to have the tasting room finished and we will have air conditioning. So I'll be able to do some work and be able to go chill out in the air conditioning and come back and do some work 1 or 2 hours at a time. So I might end up pulling these out in July. We shall see. I'm tipping it this way so that I can put the air bubble that's in here on the up on the edge where the hole is, so I can get the barrel full all the way to the tip top. And there we go. Barrel's full all the way up to the tip top. Nozzle goes in. Make sure it's good and tight. And we move on to the next one. Who do we have here? So we have jigs, sunflowers, square table. I gotta dry off my phone. Got water on everything. Where's my bandana? My face towel, my head towel, my bandana. So first thing after this is move my barrels out of the way. And then I start moving everything out of the tasting room so that everything out of the tasting room so I can start properly prepping everything for the build out. Build out starts tomorrow. The first screws go into metal tomorrow. My boys said they would be willing to help me out, start helping me out today. And theoretically, they would have been doing these two tasks while I was over there cleaning out the room. But neither one of them was awake at 10 o'clock. So I just left. It is not my job to wake them up at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is their job to get up if they want to do. They actually want to do what they said they were going to do. I mean, shit, they wake up at 6 o'clock for school. They could wake up at a reasonable hour during their break. And they are on break this week. And I've told them the last 2 days to do something to get out of the house. They have 5 days off from school. And so far, one of them has streamed and the other one has slept about 20 hours. They're good kids. I love them a lot. But they got to do something. They got to do something. And they don't even have to do anything. I don't care. I really don't. I would just like them to get out of the house to do something. Who's here? Vanessa Kitty's in the house. What's up, VK? You've gotten your name on the Wheel of Doom and Glory again. Congratulations. You have joined Jigs, Mr. Jigs, Joey from STD, and Sunflowers. And we have our first member to the channel, Mr. Jigs. He has joined as a member. He will get associate producer credits, assistant producer, whatever. I don't remember what I called it. Associate producer on my closing screen. As well as being our first member, he is getting a special gift. But we do have membership levels now. A super fan level, which I believe is $2 a month. And you get the associate producer credits and access to member-only chats and member-only shows. I'm working on a game show, a game night show, a members-only live game night. It is a drinking game. Safe and sound from your own home. There will be a members-only game. Super fans will be able to watch it live and interact. The Wildcats will be able to actually participate in the game. As players. Again, safe and sound from your own home. All right. We go ahead and move over to that side and get these 2 barrels done first, and then start up with these barrels. So what I'm doing right now, VK, is Miss Kitty is seasoning my 5-gallon barrels. This is something that has to be done before my bourbon comes in. And our bourbon comes from, the bulk of my bourbon right now is coming from a company called Gulf Coast Distilling that is right on the other side of town. I'm contracting with them to get loads of bourbon at once because I can make about 5 gallons at a time. They can make about 250 gallons. And they are the ones that I am contracting with here in town. We use the same equipment and recipe. So it's my whiskey, their equipment. And then a portion of the whiskey I distill again here at the shop. So all of our whiskey is distilled here in Houston. But anyway, I'm seasoning these barrels because these barrels, what it means by seasoning is basically you just fill them with water and let them soak for a couple of weeks, about 14 days. So in the middle of October, I dump the water out of these and refill them with bourbon, and then they go over here to my storage room and sit there until, let's see here, all of October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, either June or July. I'll pull the whiskey out of the wood. And at least twice in the meantime, I will have fresh loads of whiskey going out the door. Special Reserve, straight whiskey, Special Reserve, Double Oak Rye. All getting prepped up, ready to go, and shipped out. Again. This is an exciting part of the job. I sit here with a hose on and just sweat in the heat. That's it. Now, after these last 8 barrels get filled up with water, the next task on my list is clean out the tasting room. Oh, I didn't finish about game nights. So the second member tier, the Wildcats, they'll be able to participate in the game nights. And the first game that I have under development is a game called I'm Not As Think As You Drunk I Am, where the contestants, 2 drunk contestants and 3 sober contestants, or 4 sober contestants. Well, 3 sober contestants, 2 drunk contestants, and a game master. Everybody has to guess who's drunk and who's sober. The only person who knows is the game master. And he's not telling, because he's not a narc. There will be 3 rounds: math, trivia, and introduction round. The introduction round, math, and trivia. And, during the trivia, and, the participants, the members who are watching live, can throw in questions too, to try and guess who the drunken contestants are. But these will be actual intoxicated individuals. They will have 2 or 3 drinks before the beginning of the show with the game master. They will have 2 or 3 drinks to ensure their intoxication. And then the game will begin moments after that. And then, like I said, the introduction round. In the introduction round, a mathematics round and a trivia round. And after each round, they vote on who the sober people are and the drunk people are. And I think we may only have, yeah, there'll be 2 votes. One drunk, one sober. You get to cast 2 votes. No, I mean you cast 5 votes, obviously, but one or the other for each individual. Drunk, drunk, sober, sober, sober. Yeah. Uh, and then at the end of the game, the person who has the most drunk votes, the people who are most convincingly drunk and are drunk. Yeah, the goal is to trick the people, is to trick your other contestants, make everybody think you're sober. And if you're sober, you want to make people think you're drunk. If you're drunk, you want to make people think you're sober. I'm working out the rules in my head, the gameplay in my head as we're going. And damn, I just suddenly got hungry for lunch. I'm not going to get all my work done today. There's not a lot I need to get cleaned out over there, though. I just need to move the tables, move my merch table, and sweep everything out. Because the studs are right here by the front door. I'm not going to move the studs inside. I just need to get everything cleaned out so that I can move one set of studs in at a time. To be able to start framing up the walls. I think I should be able to frame up the walls. I should be able to frame up the long wall pretty quick. That shouldn't take a lot of time. And then I should be able to frame up the other wall. Is going to take a little bit of time because I've got a window and a door. Window to the door. Oh shit, I'm going to need more tracks for the window. I just realized that. I'm going to need like 2 more tracks for the window. Oh well. Dustin's in the house. Cheers, brother. Just saw a DUI arrest of a 20-year-old blonde. What? It was as Karen as it gets. Anyway, best comp. The stripper, I understand her. I often need a drink just to get through work. How else am I getting? Wow. That's good stuff there, Dustin. So yeah, that's gonna be the game show that I'm working on, and it won't be live. It won't be live participants at the distillery. It'll be over StreamYard or Restream or one of those services that way. Maybe Zoom. I don't know, but it'll be remote. It'll be remote, so you'll be able to participate, be intoxicated. There'll be no drinking during the show. There will be drinking after the show, but no drinking during the show. If you're sober, you stay sober during the show. If you're drunk, you stay drunk during the show. That is it. Can't have people starting off sober and ending up drunk, because that ruins the whole point of the show. And yeah, winner gets whatever. Winner chicken dinner. The hell is that? Oh, just some schmutz on the inside of the barrel there. YouTube algorithm. That's funny as hell. So only Wildcats will be able to participate in that game show. Wildcat members and invited guests. I have some celebrity friends that will join me on the show, but I also need some civilians to join me on the show. So that'll be only members at the second tier will only members on the second tier will be allowed to A, join me on live panels, and B, participate in the game shows. The super fans, the super fans will be able to join me on live panels too. You'll be open to members only shows and members only chats. The Wildcat tier will also get samples and be able to join me for sip-alongs, for our special releases, special samples, special items coming out of the distillery. And then the Roughneck level, the third tier, you folks we'll get all of that stuff, plus be able to have naming rights for the distillery, tasting room, studio, and our pandemic studio. So if you had something specific you wanted to promote, something you wanted to promote, something you want to talk about, just your own channel. If you wanted to troll me, the Old Humble guy has a small PP Studios. Fine, we'll do that for a month. We will. The community standards will be in place. We're not going to relitigate the Civil War. We're not going to relitigate the 2020 election. Donald Trump is still a criminal. He is not the greatest president in the history of the world. That will not be the name of the studio. Oh, that's a chunk of wood. So they drilled this out. I see a little flap of wood down here where they drilled it out. That's what I'm looking at there. Cool. All right. Fill this up. I wish I could bring the camera over here and like show you a bird's eye view of what is happening, but I can't. So tough shit. Sorry. Y'all are just going to have to see it from a distance. Yeah, we're not going to relitigate the Civil War. We're not going to relitigate World War II. Nazis are still fascistic, authoritarian bastards. That's all. But you can name the studio whatever you want for a month. That's what $25 will get you. You can call it the Yo Mama So Fat Studios, and as part of your $25 to name the studio for a month, I will do a Yo Mama So Fat joke for every show. So the Old Humble Distilling Company's Yo Mama So Fat, when she sits around the house, she sits around the house studios. Thank you, Top Shelf Dustin, for that name of the studio. I appreciate it. The Yo Mama So Fat. The Yo Mama So Fat, when she backs up, she beeps studio. The Yo Mama So Fat, when she beeps, everybody thinks she's backing up studio. The Yo Mama So Fat, when she wears yellow, people stand on the curb to try to get in her studio because she's a school bus. Yeah, that didn't go so well. The Old Humble Distilling Company Dad Joke Studio. Have you ever seen a chicken strip? I've never seen a chicken even wear clothes. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that your $25 a month will earn you that for 30 days, for 4 weeks, for a month. And I will even name the tasting room when I do live shows from the tasting room. I got a program that I'm working on, like an entertainment schedule from the Old Humble Distilling Company. After we close up shop on Fridays, I'll go live. After we close up shop on Saturdays, I'll go live from the. I want to have a table there where I can have a couple of guests join me for the Old Humble Happy Hour, live in studio, camera, microphone, the whole damn thing. It'd be kind of cool. It would be fun. Who's talking? I'm not looking at chat. I'm sorry. Uh, okay, good. I don't want to miss out on y'all's witty repartee. And Dustin, I know you're a cast strength guy as well. I do want to tell people and make sure I have the announcement made that when we do sip-alongs, one of those samples that I send out may or may not be in the next 12 months a cast strength of our bourbon whiskey. And our spin of the Wheel of Doom and Glory will, in fact, include a 5th mystery unlabeled bottle. An unlabeled mystery bottle. What could be in the unlabeled mystery bottle, you ask? Well, you'd have to drink it to find out, because I'm fairly certain a sophisticated palate and nose would be able to suss out what it is pretty damn quick. Pretty damn quick. And also, what many people don't know is that I keep a standard bottle for our bourbon. I keep a standard bottle to compare my barrels to when they're ready to be proofed. So I have a standard bottle that is about 120. It's the first bottle that I poured out of my first barrel that I was ready, that I considered ready. It was the right color, the right flavor. It was ready to go. I'm updating that with each additional iteration of our bourbon that I determined to be an improvement over the original production model. So with each iteration that I consider to be an improvement, I am keeping a fresh cask strength standard bottle. So that should tell you that I do have in my shop cask strength whiskey in a bottle that I am able to drink from time to time. And I am getting more comfortable with the idea. I'm getting more comfortable with the idea the longer, more aggressively aged whiskeys that I have coming out of the barrel. As I'm finding that to be the key, I think, to cask strength stuff that I like. I like my because the whiskey, the alcohol brings a lot of flavor by its. Well, it doesn't bring flavor; it's like no flavor. But the problem I have with cask strength alcohols is you get barrel flavor and you get a lot of alcohol, and then it whoosh, vanishes. But I think if I take the cask strength and let it age a little longer, take like one barrel and let it just sit for like 18 months. One of these little 5-gallon bad boys, and just let it sit for like 18 months. That alcohol will absorb a lot more of the char, so it's still going to be unbalanced with the grains. The grains are going to have their flavor, but the problem I've had with it is the alcohol was so strong that it was overpowering the grains. You know what I mean? The flavor of the whiskey was getting displaced by the high alcohol content. And it wasn't so much flavor of alcohol, it was just the feel of the alcohol, because the alcohol is so I don't know how alcohol. It's just that taste and feel of the alcohol, the aggressive alcohol in a cask strength. The grains were taking second place. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But if it's grains and wood, if it's a little bit more wood, then I think I would be a little bit more satisfied with the cask strength offering. So I think what I'm going to try and do is run an experimental batch of cask strength whiskey that's like double aged. Instead of 9 months, I'll go like 18 months. 18 months with the 120 proof. 18 months of bourbon instead of my typical 6 to 9. I'm just going to let it go, let it ride. And I may be more satisfied with a bourbon because I was okay with the rye. I wasn't happy with the rye at cask strength, but I was okay with the rye at cask strength because the rye had a lot of flavor by itself. The rye grains brought a lot to the party. They were aggressive. They were strong. They balanced out the alcohol flavor. The extra wood in my double oak rye balanced out that alcohol flavor from the cask strength of the rye. So I was a little bit more satisfied with my cask strength rye than I was the cask strength bourbon. But my bourbon is a little bit less. My first few iterations were a little bit young, admittedly. I understand that. The latest iteration has that summer aging on it, and it's pretty solid. So I think what I'm going to try and do is just a very long, very a very long for me aged bourbon, and try that cask flavoring or the cask strength with that very long aged bourbon and see how that goes. Anywho, that's my thoughts on the cask strength right now. That's where we stand on a cask strength whiskey from the folks at the Old Humble Distilling Company. It's not. It's still not a no. It's and I don't have plans for that at this time, but that doesn't mean that I won't ever have plans for that. I just don't at this time have plans for that. We'll see. We'll see. And the people who will get samples of that, those are our wildcats. Second tier. Second tier gets a lot of benefits. The third tier gets that added benefit of naming rights for an extra, what would that be? $10 a month, I think. You get the extra benefit of being able to name the distillery, name the tasting room for a month. Like all of y'all are gonna get your name on the wall as my all-star supporters, my patrons, whatever you want to call it. Y'all are people who help make the studio actually happen. And the goal, like I said earlier, is to get the channel up to about $100 a month. Right now, between super chats and advertising is like $5 a month. Super chats are up to, I think, like $25 to $30 a month. So between those two things, like $32, $33 a month, YouTube takes their cut. It's like $35 a month. It's not a huge number yet. With Jigs's membership, that brings it up to, I think, $35 a month is what it'll be. Merchandise sales are currently $0 a month through Teespring, but that's okay. I'm not really pushing merchandise right now. I don't really care if you buy a hoodie. I may get myself an Old Humble hoodie because I think that would be cool. Oh, I'm the opposite of cool. I think it'd be hot. Coasters, mugs. I am gonna get a mug soon. To get myself a mug so I can drink out of my Old Humble mug. But I think I only get like $1 for Teespring merch. If you buy a mug, I don't care about Teespring. Maybe that'll be a membership perk. Teespring discounts. Anyway, doesn't matter. What am I droning on about? I'm not droning on about anything. I'm filling a damn barrel with water. But yeah, once we have the tasting room, I'll be open more days a week, just in the tasting room. I'll be broadcasting from the tasting room more frequently. I'll probably end up drinking less because I have to drive home from the tasting room. My happy hour shows are probably the ones where I drink most because I'm at home already. I have myself a couple of doubles in a 3-hour show. I shut it down when I start to feel the alcohol. It's a good time to shut it down. It's time for bed. But member benefits are that you get to participate in the live game shows, either through chat or on the panel itself. Good times. Good times will be had by all. If you're in person, you can participate in the game shows. That's like cover charge, you know? If you're in person, you get, oh, wow. This is like, it's just like draining red water off of this thing. Did y'all see that? That wasn't my imagination, was it? See that? That's red water coming out of that. Anyway, but yeah, that's like cover charge. You know, you're here for you come to the distillery, you buy a couple of drinks, we'll put you on stage, we'll put you on your game show. You get to have some fun. We are working on a tabletop D&D game. Game Master across town. We're going to do that via StreamYard or Zoom or one of those things. We're going to have like 4 or 5 participants, including me. I'm going to be a participant in the game as well as the host of the game, but I'm not going to be the game master. The game master is going to be another guy because I do not know how to game master a D&D game. I tried. I got one for my kid. I tried to game master it. I do not know how to do that. Like, you need somebody to run this thing. I can't run it. I don't know how to do that. I was going to play with y'all. You can't do that in a D&D game. You have to have somebody run it. You can't be a player coach at the same time on a D&D campaign. I don't know. Babe Ruth might be able to do it. And I'm thinking about making a return to Twitch. If any of y'all give a crap about Twitch, I'm thinking about making a return to Twitch where I don't know. I was thinking about a World of Warcraft campaign. I hadn't played World of Warcraft in eons, but I was thinking about making a return to Twitch and resuming or kicking off a World of Warcraft campaign. I mean, I'm a pretty basic character when it comes to World of Warcraft. Warrior, hunter, you know. For my D&D campaign, I'm going to be kind of a pirate, merchant pirate type of thing. If you got a job, I'll do it. If you got a job, yo, I'll do it. If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby. Do, do, doom, doom, do, do, doom, doom. Have a pet dog that's kind of a wolf, but kind of a dog, kind of a half breed, a tame wolf, whatever you want to call it. Chill out at the tavern, look for people, find people who need jobs, and I'll go do their job for them. You need a crew, I'll get a crew. Got a job, I'll solve your problem. That's my character. That's what we do. Good with a sword, good with his hands. Trained pet that'll fight on my behalf. I'd like a wolf. I wanted a bear, but I thought that might be a little impractical. Bears are notoriously untame. They tend to eat things that they're not supposed to eat. But that the first campaign will be probably pre-recorded, posted up, members only, and then open to the public after the first. Fuck it, probably just open it up to the public. But then if you want to participate in the next campaign, you know, members only, bitches. And if we do a live show, the live show will be open to the public, but on members only chat. I'm not sure what members would have to chat about if we did a live show, but you know, the whiskey will be part of it somehow, integrated into gameplay. An elixir of strength and courage Has a different effect for everybody, a bonus effect and a negative effect. You get additional courage, but loss of dexterity. Something along those lines, maybe. Something along those lines. I don't know. I need to talk to the game master, figure out how to do it. Bonus courage, subtract dexterity. Bonus luck. You know, something like that. You get a bonus to luck and a negative roll for a bonus to initiative, a negative to success. Like, yeah, you take the first swing, but you miss. You fucking idiot, because you're drunk. You know, the Leroy Jenkins roll. A bonus to berserker action, something like that. That'd be kind of funny. All right, everybody takes a shot. Or you get a first hit buff, but a slow response. Oh, shit, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Damn it. So you take you get a buff on the first swing, and if you knock him out, congratulations. But if you don't, well, he's coming at you, and you're going to miss a roll. But you're also drunk, so you can take a punch better. Something like that. I don't know. The whiskey will be integrated into the gameplay. It's not going to be a magic elixir that, you know, makes you better, because it doesn't, but it will have certain buffs, certain benefits, and certain negatives for both. All right. Next part of the job is cleaning this space out. Open up all the wider. Let me put the other lens on the camera to open it up to an even wider shot. Live camera action right here, right now. Don't mind me. I'm just putting on my wide angle optical camera lens here. Give us a full view, auto zoom, auto focus, a full view of the tasting room. Okay, so here's what we got. I have metal studs over there, and I'm going to build this wall here, this wall, up to about here. I don't know if I'm still on camera. Up to about there. So I've got a frame in the door, and I've got a frame in a window here, right there. I'm going to have to frame in the door and frame in the window. The wall is going to be 10 feet tall, so it's going to be about midway up on that second panel going across. And I'm going to need to do something about that lighting, or that conduit and that light switch, in order to be able to fit the wall over it. But I think all I got to do is cut a notch out, put a, you know, have the frame. I don't even know if I need to put in a fucking frame for the door, to be entirely honest. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to put a stud here and a stud here, right? Can y'all even see me? Am I even on camera right now? Let's take a look at that door real quick. Turn it this way. Oh, that's the wall. Zoom in. All right, so here's the doorway and the window. So I've got this here. I've got this light switch here. And if I put the door frame, the wall frame here, it's going to be out 2 inches. The electrician's just going to have to move this out, which isn't that big of a deal. I could unscrew this and move it out and attach it to the door pretty easy. The only challenge is going to be putting this inside the door frame, but I think I could just, like I said, notch the track, the roof, the top track, and slide it in there, no problem. That shouldn't be that big of a problem. Yeah, and then have the stud here, so this will stay there, but the studs will be on either side of the doorway opening. And then I could just have it plaster right up to it, clean it up, clean it off, that'd be fine. The exit sign comes out to the wall, no problem. That's a soft conduit there. It's not a rigid pipe like these. So that won't be any problem in removing that and attaching it to the outside wall. Same thing with the window here. It's just standard wall. Put in a top track there and a bottom track there. The studs on top, studs on bottom, no problem. No problem with that. And then that'll be done. And then I'll do the same thing over there with my office, where I have a window. I don't have to worry about doors or anything. I will have a door on this side, so there's that. But that's easy. That's just a regular door that I have to frame in. And then a big long wall going from here all the way across. But I'm not going to have any electrical conduits on this wall except for at the bar. So do I need to have this wall framed in? Yeah, I'm going to need to have this wall framed in. But once I get it going, it doesn't take me long to frame in the wall pieces. The wall pieces are just a top track and a bottom track with 8 studs drilled in. So it's not going to take long. It's just going to be, it is. It's not hard is what I'm saying. It's just going to take time to do it. And I really only have 2 weeks to get this done. So it's time to stop flapping my jaws and get to sweeping my floors and cleaning this stuff out. So first things first. This, my dog bed. The bar doesn't have to go just yet. The bar will be able to stay here for a little while. Box of bottles. Put away a table, put away a table. I mentioned a while back that most of my job as a distiller is moving very heavy things from one place to another. And that still is true. I have to move tables, I have to move barrels, I have to move water, move boxes, move barrels, move the tables again, move the boxes again, move a fan, move the fan back, move the fan again, move the tote of water, Move the toad of water, move the toad of water. Oh, those are cinder blocks. You got to move those. I mean, that's like most of my job is taking very heavy objects and moving them. And I'm going to have to move all of this. But as of right now, all I really need is here, because that's pretty much going to be what I'm going to. My goal tomorrow is to get that wall fully and totally framed in. Fully framed in. My goal for the end of the week is to get the entire. Did I freeze? Have I frozen? No, I'm not frozen. Computer's burning up though. My phone is stopped for some reason. Turn off the Wi-Fi. All right, there we go. My goal for the end of the week is to have this fully framed all the way up to the edge here, and my office fully framed so that I can call the electrician to come in and put in the outlets where I need them to be all the way around the room. That's the goal for the week. And I think I can accomplish that. I think that is an accomplishable goal. I think. This table is a piece of shit. I don't like it. I've never liked it. Because I've also got to I've also got whiskey work to do, not just construction work. So I've still got to operate my business. You know what I mean? And I can't just be handy manny over here working construction job. I've got to be able to do work, my work. You go there. None of these, all of these barrels are dry. None of them are any good at all. But that's okay. I still love you. You still make delicious whiskeys. Well, I mean, you don't anymore. You probably make good garden planters. If I cut you up and put some glue on your staves, maybe to hold them in place. I'm sure your mama loves you. Actually, your mama's probably also a barrel. And she's probably disappointed in you because you're dry and useless. I'm waiting for a second act in your life. Garbage. Piece of shit. Who's chatting? Still just. All right. This table is my grandmother's old table. I've spent many a year many a night at her house eating chicken spaghetti. She would make that in one of those metal aluminum trays, or she would serve it in an aluminum tray. I don't think she made it in the tray, but she would serve it in an aluminum tray. And I tell you what, that shit was magical. There's very few things that I would be willing to go back in time to do again. But if I could just do it one more time, have a authentic, grandma created plate of that chicken spaghetti. Goddamn. One more plate. I'm telling you, that would be magical. I mean, legitimately magical, because she's been dead for almost 30 years. 26 years, 25 years, 28 years. It's been a while. It would be some kind of straight up sorcery if you could pull that off. Straight up sorcery, I tell you. Necromancy is what it would be. See these hats? I had a guy come into my goddamn store, come into my shop, picked up one of my brand new hats, fucked with the brim, and then put it back down. I sat there and watched him do it, and I'm like, what the hell? You sit there and you fuck with the brim, and then you put it back down? That is your hat, sir. You have just bought a hat, and they're already rounded off. I don't sell hats that look stupid. I sell hats that look like they're ready to be worn. You want a flat brim hat, go somewhere else. We don't do that shit here. But I was appalled. And it was a grown-ass man, too. It wasn't even like a kid who wouldn't know better. This was a grown-ass man who absolutely should have known better. He comes and touches another man's merchandise and then doesn't buy it. Like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Let's see, where do I want to put this? I'm going to put it over here on this pallet with the dog bed. I should put the pallet over here by the TV, but I am not smart, so I'm moving the TV to the pallet. But I should also put the table on the pallet so that when it comes time to move this shit, all I got to do is move the pallet. In fact, I'm going to do exactly that. And the dog bed will go on top of the TV for now, but it will also go on top of the table. Boop, doop, boop, boom. Psh. So tomorrow night is Wednesday night. We're talking about the boomers. And like I said earlier, I am not relitigating the fact that the boomers are the worst generation in the history of our country. Like, we know they've destroyed literally everything that they've touched. They were given civil rights, and they have destroyed civil rights. They have destroyed voting rights. They have destroyed pay equity. They have destroyed gender equity. They have done nothing that they were not absolutely 100% forced to do. They've destroyed environmental rights, environmental laws. They have created an economy that is less equitable, less fair, more uneven. They were handed an economy that was very democratic, very equitable, and very fair, and turned it into an economy that looks more like Venezuela than America. It looks more like Venezuela than literally any capitalist country on the planet. Our economy is more anyway, like I said, I don't want to relitigate this. We know the boomers have failed on every marketable or every manageable, markable, uh, 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 trackable, recordable metric that we could possibly find. We have a more violent society, less educated society, more everything, more indebted society than ever before. This we know. So I don't need to relitigate that. We're not going to go over that again. What I do want to do, however, tomorrow night is we're going to compare and contrast the two generations through the lens of two generational movies. The first of which being The Secret of My Success. The second being Office Space. One is a boomer opus where young, upwardly mobile go-getter at his uncle's company starts in the mailroom, sleeps with the boss's wife, works his way up to taking over the company. The boomer dream. The other, Office Space, where the young, college-educated, upwardly mobile man in a dead-end job hates his life, hates his job, sees that everything around him is futile and stupid, and he says, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to keep caring like I used to. And swaps out the upwardly mobile lifestyle for a decidedly blue collar, less upwardly mobile, less. It's a physically demanding, but less. I'll say less challenging. Not the upwardly mobile boomer dream. He scraps the boomer dream for the Gen X dream of making enough money to live his life and be happy, pay rent, have food, have free time, go on vacations, spend time with family, etc., etc. Less stress, less headache, less heartache, less bullshit. You have junk to pick up, you pick up the junk. That's your job. And you're done. That's it. Beautiful life. Beautiful existence. And they're very, very diametrically opposed visions of work, of lifestyle, of goals, of mission, and they are two very generationally separated movies. Secret of My Success being an early 80s flick with Michael J. Fox. Office Space being a late 90s Gen X flick with that guy and Jennifer Aniston. Is Jennifer Aniston in it, right? I don't remember that dude's name. It'll come to me later. But yeah, we're going to talk about the generational divide. And like I said, it's not a debate, it's a discussion. Because I don't think it's debatable as about the boomers fucking everything up. I don't consider that to be a debatable topic. And we can debate it if you want to, but chats are always open. Wednesday night happy hours are open to the public. No members only chats there. I might do a members only section. If we get late, be all like, fuck it, we're going members only. I gotta catch up. No more chats. I need to catch up. All right, so the floor is prepped. The wall is ready. I have that needs to come off and that needs to come off. But the next step is to frame this out. That's next. And if I can do that much tomorrow, just that wall tomorrow, then worry about this section Thursday, then by Friday, I can start working on my office. And my office has a lot of shit that needs to be moved. But if I can get this section done by Friday, and by the end of next week be able to call the electricians in and hopefully have this project done by the 21st, that'll be a big win. I've got 30th high school reunion guys coming in on the 28th of October. So it would be really nice if I could have the sheetrock finished, because that's the last step. If I can have the wall completely framed in and then the sheetrock done that next week, just putting up the panels. I don't need to sheetrock that in, obviously. I don't need to sheetrock that in. I don't need to sheetrock that in. In fact, I don't really need to finish my office out. I don't need to have the office finished. I just have to have this room presentable for the reunion. So if we have our outlets and the sheetrock in, this doorway will be right here, and it'll be open. I won't have the door installed yet. This will be open. I'll have a door back here. It'll be open because I won't have the door installed yet. Then I'll have my other big doorway in my office. It'll be open. I won't have that door installed yet. But this room, the bar, will be finished. I'll have the water connected to the bar. So we have a wet bar. Yeah, I should be able to get this done. This section of it done. I might even be able to get the whole damn thing done in a month, but got to make sure I can get that electrician in here and pay him what he needs. We're going to have probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 electrical outlets. 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4. And then 2, 2, 2, 2. So 4 in the office. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 for the stage. So 4 for the tasting room, 2 for the stage, 4 in my office. Maybe 1 at the bar. I haven't decided if I want to have. I do. I probably ought to have a power junction at the bar. And then what I think I'm going to do is, instead of having light fixtures in the ceiling, just do like a junction box up here so I can install lights in the ceiling when it comes time to do that. Because I think all I'm going to do for the ceiling is put sheet metal just across the top. This is a 18-foot space. So sheet metal across the top, 20-foot things of sheet metal trimmed to the wall. That should be fine. And then I can have the walls ringed with LED lights around the outside, and some of these these outdoor lights kind of going across to give us lighting, and then a proper light fixture at the bar, probably on the wall, to be honest, so that we could see. And then I'm going to have 2 china cabinets, 2 display cabinets behind the bar as the backdrop for the bar, for our inventory, for our bar inventory. And then behind that will be an open hallway and my office. It's going to be awesome. It's all going to come together. It's all going to be beautiful. It's all going to come together. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be awesome. And you are going to want to come to our grand opening, which will probably be in November. Is it raining or is that wind? That's wind. Yeah, so that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to come to here. You're not going to be able to because most of y'all are online. Y'all aren't in Houston, but you're going to want to, and you're going to feel really dumb when you don't. I mean, you heard it here first. You're going to be sad. You're going to be sad. And that wall is going to be insulated because it gets hot over there. That wall needs to be insulated, and then the ceiling is going to be. I might put insulation on the bottom. No, the ceiling will be fine. See, I don't know what we'll do with the ceiling. I haven't decided yet. It'll probably be painted. I'll need to paint it. Now, I haven't decided what we're going to do with the ceiling. But the lights are going to be dope as hell. LED runners around the outside. All around here, LED runners. It's going to be beautiful. Anyway, what time is it? Y'all know? Who's chatting with me? Any nachos and handing over to Humble to touch things. She's in it, doesn't have an important role. Huh? She's in what? I don't know what you're talking about, Dustin. Sorry, I wasn't paying close enough attention to chat. Cleaning my glasses so that I can see. But I think we're done. I think I'm done here. It's almost 2, I think. It's 1:30. It's 1:30. Dustin, what's up? Oh, Friends Girl, yeah. Jennifer Aniston. She does. She's like the girlfriend. She's his girlfriend. She's at she works at the not TGI Fridays. She's the one with the flare. And he breaks up with her because she fucked Bob Munsford. I can't remember his name. The character's name. See your O face. Oh. She was like a co-star in the movie. I mean, yeah, everybody other than Peter had a fairly minor role in that movie, but I mean, he was the star. This was probably her first major film role, if I recall, or one of her first major film roles. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera to there. Hopefully, I did not just lose video. I did not. All right, so I have about 30 minutes before I need to get out of here. So we're going to label the bottles. She got billed as that. Ah, gotcha. And Jennifer Aniston. And Jennifer Aniston wearing a thin white t-shirt. Actually, it would be Jennifer Aniston's thin white t-shirt co-starring in this movie. All right, so I'm going to finish labeling these bottles of Boomtown Bourbon. Or at least 30 minutes of labeling, because I got about 30 minutes before I have to get out of here. So I'm going to label up these bottles and then boogie out. I'm going to go eat some lunch. I got to be somewhere at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to go eat some. I'm going to leave at 2. I'm going to go eat some lunch. So check this out. Here's my stupid fucking vendor story for the day. I have an email. I get a call from shipping company. Look, I am not a shipping company. I make whiskey. So I don't know what I need to do to get totes off of a loading dock. I don't know what documentation or shit like that you need. I leave that to the shipping companies. Like I tell them, hey, I need ABC done. Can you do that? They're supposed to say, yeah, we're a shipping company. We know how to do that. Leave it to us, old humble guy. Because if you call me up and you say, hey, I want some whiskey, I'm not going to turn around and say, okay, what kind of license do I need for you to get whiskey? Because that would be stupid, right? Right, old humble guy. That would be stupid. Okay, so you're a logistics company. You're a shipping company. I say, I need a tote of whiskey brought into my facility. This is where it's located. This is where I'm located. Make it so. Your job as the logistics company is to look at me and say, yes, we are a logistics company. We have trucks and expertise in putting shit on those trucks and getting those trucks to show up with your shit where it's supposed to go. What I don't need to hear from you is, what is the shipping code for that package? What is the hazardous materials code for that package? What is the, like, you're the shipping company. How about you tell me, why the fuck should I look that shit up for you? Why am I looking up your industry data? Why am I looking up shipping codes when you're the shipping company? Why am I filling out this information? I'm not asking you for a license on how to make whiskey. I'm not asking you for my mash bills. I'm not asking you for where I'm going to get my bottles. I'm not asking you that information. All I need you to do is pick it up and ship it. Right? You would think. But no. Shipping companies are shockingly incompetent. A lot of vendors are shockingly incompetent. Hey, I need you to. Okay, well, how do we do that? I'm sorry? When I was a trust officer and I had customers call me up and say, hey, I need to send money to your bank, I wouldn't say, okay, go find a form in my databases and fill that form out. Go find that form that has a lot of blanks and spaces in it with information that only I at the bank would know, and fill that information out. No. As the bank, my job was to say, yeah, we can get that money in the bank, no problem. In fact, I know how to do it because I have a form right here. All the information that I need from me is already in there. All I need you to do is give me your specific information that only you would have because you own this information and I need this information from you. I don't need you to tell me the bank's routing number. I don't need you to tell me the bank's account number. I don't need you to tell me your account number because I already have it. I don't need you to tell me any of that stuff. All I need you to do is give me a signature. Because you own your signature, I don't. I just need you to sign this thing. Done. What day do you want it picked up? What day do you want it delivered? I assume, since it's money, you want it today. Sound good? And they say, yep. I say, okay. What account is it coming from? They give me what account. I know what account it's going to. No problem. What's the dollar amount? Done and done. Done and done. When I'm shipping a total whiskey, what I expect from a shipping company would be to ask me, hey, what is it? This is what it is. They're going to say, what's the proof? This is the proof. Okay, done. That tells me everything, literally everything I need to know to fill out the forms that I need to fill out on my end. All I need to know is what the address is, where it's coming from, what the address is that it's going to, and maybe the weight. That's it. Because your truck is going to go to that loading dock and pick that thing up and bring it to this loading dock. Not my truck, not my driver, Not my forms, not my information, not my data. I don't know what a UN shipping code is. That's your information. You should have that. You know what the product is. You know what the item is. You should be able to fill all that information out from your database. Why should I have to go look that up? But for two different shipping companies, I had to go look that shit up and give them that information because they're so shockingly incompetent. And one of them couldn't figure out how to fill out a goddamn bill of lading, so they got fired and they didn't get the shipment picked up. Took them 4 tries to pick it up. 4 goddamn tries. This other shipping company took them 2 tries to pick it up, got it picked up, and then they call me up and they say, oh, this is heavier than we thought it was. Like, why is it heavier than you thought it was? Because you asked me how heavy it was and I told you how heavy it was and you said, okay, we've got it. How is it heavier than you thought it was? Did you think it was heavier than or a different weight than what I told you it was? Did you think it was less than what I said it was when I said it was 2,100 pounds? Did you think it wasn't? Do you think I was just kidding? What, do you think the camera adds 10 pounds? So then they call me up. They say it's heavier than we thought it was. Our lift gate won't take it. We're going to need to do a different piece of equipment to drop it off. So it's going to cost you more money. I'm like, why'd you even take the fucking job? Why did you even take the job if you didn't have the equipment that I asked if you had? Why did you even accept it? Incompetent jackassery. Pisses me off. So then I call my broker, the shipping company, the logistics broker who hired these baboons, and I told her name's Rose, and she is a absolutely fucking delightful person. And that is not even sarcasm. That is 100% God's honest truth. She is a straight up delightful person. I call up Rose and I say, Rose, what the hell? She's like, I know. I'm like, no, you're not supposed to agree with me. You're supposed to be all like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. She's like, no, these people are fucking idiots. I'm like, well, who am I going to yell at if I can't yell at you? I don't know those people. I can't yell at them. You're too damn nice and delightful to yell at. She's like, I'm sorry. Would you like me to be meaner? I'm from Chicago. I'm like, no, you don't have to be, but you realize some poor kid at Taco Bell is going to get yelled at now because they didn't give me enough hot sauce for their shitty tacos. And I'm going to yell at them because I said 12 and they gave me 9. And I'm going to have to walk in their store, yell at them because they don't know how to count to 12, and then take all their fucking hot sauces and put them in my car and throw them away at my house because I can't eat all those hot sauces. And all they really need to do is make their food better, but they can't make their food better because if they make their food better, it's going to cost more than $1.99. Anyway, Rose is a delightfully charming individual, and she got the problem fixed. Well, she didn't fix it. She couldn't fix it. But she did say that they were not going to be used again because they were incompetent idiots, and this is not the first. This is the second time this has happened, and she doesn't put up with that shit. And like, God, damn, I am married, but you are an angel. Jesus. What's up, Dustin? Banking doesn't care. It's very structured. International banking is a total shit show. Yeah, I figure international. We didn't do a lot of international. In fact, I didn't do any international transfers. That was strictly forbidden in my department because all of our clients were domestic clients, and if they were shipping money overseas, then they were doing some kind of illegal hanky shit, and we weren't going to do that. But the department right next door did, and there was all kinds of stories that they would tell of people that were definitely not gangsters in Russia requesting funds from someone who was definitely their uncle. One guy we called Dr. No because he literally never accepted requests for cash transfers because so many people. I mean, he got all of the dodgy business guys, and he was just like, "No, we're not. If you want us to transfer the entire account, I'm happy to transfer the entire account, but this person is not on your approved list of people, and as far as I know, he's extorting you for money, and it's unfortunate, but your dirty secrets are just going to get out." Oh, the stories he would tell. The color's looking great. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, this was a summer batch. And I'm learning the lesson this new facility, this first batch of bourbon that we're doing. I've had some lighter and darker batches. This is a very rich color for our bourbon, and I'm not 100% satisfied. I think I could go a shade darker if I get if I can afford to be a little bit more patient with the barrels that are aging right now. I think I can go even a shade darker, but this is really close. This is really close. I mean, the flavor's been right the whole time, but this is really close to the color and style that I've been shooting for this. And one of the great things about small batch bourbon is every batch is a little bit different. And when you catch a distillery that's starting out on their bourbon journeys, you get to see it get better and better and better with each iteration. And this is the batch with the solid blue, the first batch of solid blue labels. The first batch of solid blue labels. I think this is our fourth batch, or the fourth barreling. No, fifth barreling. Did I get 6 barrelings out of that first batch of bourbon? I think I got 6 barrelings out of my first batch of bourbon. And this is the 5th batch. The 6th batch is over there. I think. Yeah, because we got 3 plus the. Yeah, so this was 6 total. Anyway, but each iteration, I'm learning the months that the time that goes into the barrel, which time is more efficient, which time is more effective. So this batch that's going to go in over winter, this batch is going to get an extra couple of months of springtime. An extra couple of months of springtime to make sure it gets the color and flavor that I want it to get. My hat is soaked through and I'm making a mess over here. The things I do for my art, I could have my fan running right now, but I don't because I could have my door open to get a cross breeze, but I don't because that's going to mess up the white balance on the camera. But yeah, this is the first full batch of baby blue, of true blue labels, rather. They're not baby blue, they're just true blue. I am going to make, if the Texans go to the Super Bowl, I will make a batch of Love You Blue labels, a special edition batch of Love You Blue labels. It'll be just a very subtle shift, a slightly lighter blue, red outlines on the logo. I won't even say anything. I'll just do them. Maybe I'll just get a mock-up of the label and not actually print the labels. Maybe. We'll see. Rose can yell at you for even thinking. She did yell at me for thinking about time. She's like, you need to go to a food truck. You live in Houston, for God's sakes. I'm like, but if I go to a food truck, then I'm going to get real food, and I don't want to get real food because I feel bad about myself because I want to yell at you and you're not yellable. It's repentance food. Now, food truck's going to be good food. It's going to cost $30 because food trucks aren't cheap. Fucking gourmet hot dogs and shit. Well, I'll tell you what, I could eat a goddamn pizza right now. It is one. I got 15 more minutes. This motherfucking car has passed my doorway 3 times now. These people from the neighborhood get curious and they drive by and they drive by again and they drive by again, and it drives me nuts because, like, fucking stop and come talk to me. Quit driving by and looking in my shop. You're creeping me out. I'll go get my security device, put it nearby, and then close the door. Creepy bastards. Anyway, what are we talking about? See, yeah. Big variation from Jim Beam too. Yeah. Just my first 4 batches this year, though, I've seen big variances. I mean, I could pull a couple of bottles in. Just my blackout bourbon. I mean, yeah, I'll show you. The blackout bourbon and these two side by side. I mean, look the difference in color. This was the blackout bourbon. This is our latest iteration. It's a full shade darker. I mean, you don't really notice it by itself, but you put it side by side, and you're like, oh. All right, that motherfucker's giving me the goddamn creeps. I think I need to leave the door open because it gets stuffy in here if I do close it. These sons of bitches giving me the heebie-jeebies. I am going to pull my fan out if I can. Can I get it all the way over here? Yeah. Come on. Turn on, baby. There you go. A little breezeway going through, and I am going to shut the door because those guys are giving me the fucking creeps. Pop a cap in some motherfucker's ass. Anywho, nobody's committing murder today. Probably. In Texas, we call it self-defense. All right. About 10 more minutes. Label up as many of these as I can. I'm not going to get the front labels done, but I can get the back labels. I'm going to go home, and my boys are going to be like, why'd you leave without us? Like, because you weren't fucking awake at 10 o'clock, you idiots. And some of us have work to do. Can't just sit here and sleep all day. A couple of lazy damn teenagers. My youngest just got home from a camping trip, so I didn't even want to ask him to come in here and help me out because he's tired. He needs to rest today. He actually does have a legitimate reason to sit at home all day and just sleep because he was camping with the Boy Scouts. So, like, he probably didn't get much sleep over the last 2 days. Oops. Yeah. Thirsty. These 4 over here. So memberships are active. We have our Superfan membership, which is, I believe, $2 a month. We have our Wildcat membership, which I believe is $4 a month. Might be $5 for the Wildcat membership. And then the Roughneck membership, which is $25 a month. My goal for revenue for the channel is a very modest goal, nothing huge, $100 a month. That's between ad revenue, super chats, memberships. And right now, ad revenue is about $3, maybe $5. Super chats, y'all are awesome with the super chats, by the way. Those have been like, I don't know, $15 to $20 a show, I think. $25 a show. But the super chats, I mean, everything gets you onto the Wheel of Doom and Glory, and we spin the Wheel of Doom and Glory twice a year, probably. Except we're doing it next week. We spin the Wheel of Doom and Glory. We're not doing it today. We're doing it next week, or tomorrow. We're doing it next week. Is your last chance to get in on the Wheel of Doom and Glory. It's today's live show, tomorrow's live show. Then memberships. So we got our first membership, Mr. Jiggs. He has joined us as a member. So membership levels, on the superfan level, you get an assistant producer credit in our closing screen, which I will be updating that tonight to add to or a special thanks screen for our producers. You know, at the end of the show, when I do the test signal, before I do the test signal, I do this has been an award-winning production screen. So we will have the assistant producers, a special thank you screen for that. And then members, you know, there's access for member-only shows, member-only chats. The member-only shows will be like when we do our game show. We'll do member-only chats for the game show. The show will be open to the public, but the chat will be open to members. That sort of thing. And then on the second level, you actually have access to be on the show with me. Member-only shows. Member-only participation in shows. The show will be available only to members, which means member-only chat, member-only participation. And those specifically, right now what I've got planned are sip-along shows, where I send out samples twice a year, a couple of samples, one or two sample bottles, comes to you, and then we open the bottle and we take a sip, and I tell you what we're working on at the distillery. And then that's a members-only show. Members are in chat. Members are on the panel with me, sipping along. We're talking about the whiskey. We're talking about what we're doing. And then once that's done, that show can go live, or it'll be posted up and be available to the public. But the live version of it, the live interaction, will be only for members. And the members will be allowed to participate. Will only be allowed to participate. And when we have our game shows, those will be available to the members. Will be allowed to join us as well. People who join us on the panels. When I open up panel talks, that'll be available to the low tier and mid tier and high tier. When I have the panel happy hours, when I return to panel happy hours, those will be available for members only. Like, anybody can watch, but only members can participate. And that's because I need to make sure I gatekeep and don't just let any numbskull and dumb fucker up onto my panel. Can't let that happen. Got to have community standards. You know what I mean? And then finally, the final tier, the Roughneck tier, that gives you the right to name the studio. So the tasting room will have a space available, studio space available. over there on the stage. I'll bring in a table. We'll have people, special guests, talk shows, talk show format, special guest type of thing. The Old Humble Happy Hour from the Excelsior Investing Studios. Excelsior Investing. Making your money work for you. Old Humble Happy Hour from the Santa Monica Studios. If that's what you want to call it, that's what you call it. Old Humble Happy Hour live from the Pee Pee Poo Poo Studios. Live from the I Have a Teeny Tiny Penis Studios. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Again, community standards will be enforced. It will never, ever, ever be live from the Civil War Was Fought Over States' Rights Studios, because we do have community standards where we are committed to the truth. Live from the Donald Trump is Innocent Studios. That will only be if he is acquitted on all charges in all cases, which he has not been, so that will never be. Taylor Swift, hot or not, and hot is hot. Not a oh shit. I would. Yeah, she's a fucking national treasure. And you know, quite honestly, I resent the fact that I fucking have to know a tight end in Kansas City's name. I was perfectly happy following my Texans, following my Astros, nominally knowing some of the players on some of the teams that the Texans play, some of the players on some of the teams that the Astros play, some of the players on some of the teams that the Rockets play. Very few of the players on the teams that the Cougars play, the UH teams play. I know most of the, some of the UH teams or some of the UH players. I don't even know who fucking plays for Cincinnati or TCU. Or I mean, it's just TCU. It's TCU quarterback. What do I care? I don't need to know the players in Kansas City. And the fact that Taylor Swift is apparently dating some football player in Kansas City means absolutely nothing to me. I still don't like Kansas City. I don't give a shit. You know what? She is a national fucking treasure. And the Kansas City Chiefs should thank her for a little bit of free publicity. Because, without question, she is bigger than the Chiefs. Nobody outside of Kansas City gives a shit about the Chiefs unless they got players on your fantasy football team. I mean, Jesus Christ. Donald fucking Trump doesn't even know the Kansas City Chiefs are in Kansas. Or in Missouri, rather. He gives a shout out to Kansas. You fucking moron. Nobody cares about the Kansas City Chiefs. And nobody gives a shit about the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jason something or another, Kelsey. And people being all like, oh, she's just doing it for publicity. She doesn't need publicity from Chiefs fans. She's slumming it. Going out among the fucking paupers at a goddamn stadium. Hanging out in a booth with a dude who's merely a millionaire. She has chunks more valuable than him in her turds. She is a national goddamn treasure. And yes, we are getting back together. I dated her in high school. I'm kidding. I didn't date her in high school. It was college. But still. I remember her back when she was when you could literally Google that crinkly-haired white girl. and Taylor Swift would come up. The crinkly-haired white girl, because when you couldn't remember her name, way, way, way back at the beginning of her career, when nobody could remember who she was, and they were just, yeah, that curly, fried-haired white girl singer. They're like, oh yeah, you mean Taylor Swift? Yeah, that's the one. Ain't nobody doing that now. I mean, she's got a, you need to have a particular type to find her attractive. You need to like attractive women. I mean, she's skinny. She's got absolutely no ass. I have no idea how that poor girl sits down. She's skinny as all hell. But she's legit talented and legit beautiful. And I dare say she's more talented than beautiful. But I don't know if she'd be as, honest. My mouth to the Lord's ears. I don't know if she would be as successful if she was not as pretty as she is. Because there's been plenty of girls that have had wonderful voices and super duper talented. I mean, she writes her own damn songs too. She's super duper talented. Two NFL players. We drop fat people. He's sorry. No. She is not a 3 or a 4. She is. I mean, you've got to like the type. She's a skinny little white chick. You gotta like the type. You gotta like the body type. I like the ballerina types. I like the skinny little. I don't like them to be, wayfish skinny. I don't like I never really was a fan of the heroin chic, but like there's a place for that. There's a time and a place for heroin chic. She's got, yeah, she's very much shaped like a 2x4. She's skinny. She's got, you know, she does not have the voluptuous curves, and I also like chicks with voluptuous curves. But I like well-proportioned girls. My lovely wife, when I met her, she was a skinny little thing. She had this tight little ass. I mean, I fell in love with her when she was walking away from me. I was like, damn, she's mine. I want that in my life forever. Or at least for the next 6 months. I want to get to know that ass more. And she did not. I mean, she was she wasn't even 90 pounds. When I met her, she was just this little 5'2", 86-pound, tiny little nymph of a garden fairy that fluttered in, mad as a wet hen at her friend who had stood her up on Grammy night or 90210 or some shit, I don't know. And it was right after spring break, and she was just pissed off. Like, foot stomping, crunkled up nose, just eyes were ablaze with fury. And she's like, where did he go? And I'm like, oh my God, I want that. And then she turned, and I'm like, I know where he's at. I know exactly where he's at. You gonna hit him? She's like, I might. I'm like, all right, I'll show you where he's going. She's like, let's go. And she turned and she stomped off towards the elevators. And I was just like, damn. Put some icing on that cake. Shit. My lovely wife, did not have a big old booty when we first met. And she still doesn't have a big old. She's got a mom bod. She's gorgeous. She's just fucking amazing. She is an amazing woman, and I find her to be amazingly attractive. But old T Swift, she's got a very similar body to what my wife had when she was a 19-year-old college student. And Taylor has maintained that 19-year-old college student body up into her, what is she, early 30s, late 20s? She's what, 28, something like that. And that's kind of what that body is. That's a skinny little white chick body. The young college student, very little meat on her bones type of body. But she's a grown-ass woman. Don't be pervy. Shit, I'm hungry. And there's a type. People like that. There's a type for that. There's also a type for Lizzo, for that body style. Not my type. Lizzo is fucking talented. I would not consider her to be hot, but so there are people who find that attractive. She is still super duper talented. I would book her if I were doing a Legends of Pop. I would book her as a diva. Divas of Pop. I would book her. There's people that find Cher attractive. I've never really. I mean, Cher 2.0 when she came out as what was she like 80, and her body was 25. I believe in love after love. I don't even really like. I mean, she's super talented, but she's not my. That's not my cup of tea. I'd rather not listen to her warbling. But again, if I was booking the divas of pop, she would be on that list. Britney Spears. Now, Britney, when she was younger, she had the curves. She was not an advanced. She was not the wayfish, skinny white chick. She had roundness. And that's another whole different body type. Whole different body type. Which, yes, is also super hot. I mean, sometimes you like pie and sometimes you like cake. And sometimes you like both pie and cake. And it's perfectly reasonable to find skinny white chicks hot and curvy white chicks hot. Or skinny black chicks or curvy black chicks. Asian chicks, curvy chicks. Have you ever seen a curvy Asian chick? I can't say for sure. I mean, I know they exist. Don't get me wrong. I know they exist. People come in all styles and shapes and flavors and colors. And, there is such a thing as curvy Asian chicks and skinny Asian chicks. But be honest. Have you ever seen a fat Japanese girl who wasn't born in the United States, who didn't live in the United States? From Japan. Like, they're all skinny. Asian, like, and when you say Asia, I mean like Asia, the mainland Asia, not like Polynesian Asia, Asian islanders. You find. Anyway, I'm teetering into the world like I should just shut my fucking mouth. Like my wife's gonna come barging through the door. She's like, "What are you talking about?" Her Lisa's gonna text me like, "You need to shut your mouth now." But I'm just saying, like, like we've seen, we know that fat Australian chicks exist, right? Even though all the Australian chicks you see are gorgeous, like well proportioned blonde statues of. And same thing with the dudes. They're just like. Anyway, it's 2:00. I need to go eat lunch. Spears is objectively hot. Taylor, I don't know about that. Taylor is. I would argue that Britney Spears more fits the paradigm of conventional beauty, where big tits, big butt, skinny waist, a well proportioned 36, 24, 36. Taylor Swift also fits a paradigm of of beauty that is not traditional or conventional, but more of a modern beauty aesthetic rather, where she's more athletic and less curvaceous, but still extreme, healthy, fit, and attractive. where the 36, 40, 24, 36 traditional, conventional attractiveness does not necessarily equal athletic either. In the same way that Lizzo doesn't fit the traditional uh, beauty aesthetic, but she is she's athletic as hell too. So she doesn't fit that aesthetic. When you see like that, you're like, holy shit. But then she does what she does for 3 fucking hours on stage. Holy shit. She could run circles around most of us dudes. Not conventionally beautiful, but athletic and strong. And Taylor is athletic beauty. She's uh, uh, that fit, athletic, skinny white chick aesthetic. And that is a more modern uh, uh, beauty trend than the traditional beauty trend. And Jesus, there was a time when Britney Spears would have been considered a skinny bitch. Um, you know, I mean, we're talking the 30s and 40s when that was, and hell, speaking of the 30s and 40s, in the 20s, that Taylor Swift's skinny waifish style would have been considered the peak of modern aesthetic 100 years ago. She is objectively hot, absolutely objectively hot, just not in a traditional beauty standard sense. She is she's hot. This is a fun debate, but I've also got to go eat. It's 2 o'clock, and I've got to be somewhere at 3:30. Um, did I did today when singer discussed one of her songs was "Dust It Off" or something. Shake it off. I'm pretty sure they used to torture terrorists band. A 13-year-old boy look. It's more of a ballerina look than 13-year-old boy. Um, and she does have a chest. Just doesn't show it off. Um, no idea how we got into football. Taylor Swift is dating a football player. That's how we got into football. Larger the butt, lower the body fat is more fit you are, man. No, that is objectively untrue because there was that whole trend in the late 90s, early 2000s of the big booty, Jennifer Lopez with the big booty, right? And shaking her big. And there was a point in time where Jennifer Lopez had a fat ass. It was a disproportionately fat ass. She's gotten it back down to big booty range, but there was a period of time where she was objectively like above the waist, she was hot. Below the waist, she was fat. Big butt does not mean because I could tell there are plenty of women that I know that I am related to, not my wife, that I am related to, blood relations, not blood marriage, blood relations, who have it's called the Brita ass. They've got big old butts, and it happens, and they can work it off. Some of them have, but when you're 80 years old, you don't need to, you don't work that shit off. It's yours. You own it. That's it. Um, uh, anyway, it's 1:15, man. I gotta go. I gotta go eat. Dustin, it was a pleasure talking to you. Sunflowers. Thanks for joining us, Vanessa Kitty. I appreciate the drop in saying hello. Jigs, thank you for being a member. I will get you your prize for being the first member of the stream. Uh, uh, and Square Table, thank you for the contribution, the superfan contribution. You get onto the wheel 7 more times. Jigs, you get onto the wheel at least 5 more times. Or 2 more times. We shall see. Dustin, Kitty, and Sunflowers, y'all get on the wheel 1 more time. I gotta bounce. It's lunchtime. It's been fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for working with me while I go through my daily work. We did those labels. We did those bottles. We transferred this whiskey, and I got the room prepped up for framing the walls. This is gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun week, a fun time, and uh, hey, Like I said, I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Cheers, and I will see y'all tomorrow night, if not sooner. Bye.